Okay, let's design. Let's try and figure out what we're going to do with this boat. Okay, the boat is. Okay, start again. Okay, let's decide where we're gonna. We have it laid out, but I don't know where we want to. I don't know if we want to hide the boat or just.
They shouldn't be able to get on the boat easily. There's got to be something they got to do to get on the boat.
Right.
Okay, so what about the fountain then? What does that have to do with
it? Well, we could. We already.
What?
It's just not about the fountain.
Because that's where the boat is.
We don't know that yet.
We don't.
Go ahead and stop it.
What, these? Okay, it's on.
Okay, to the gear world, I still think that we ought to, for the mechanical age, I still think we ought to, we use colors on the beach, possibly to raise something to get over this little island, maybe like a rocky island on the beach, like we have on the map.
Okay.
Like you get colors. I mean, we have this observatory. Maybe you could get some sort of a color clue or something like that. It could be something.
That'd be all right.
I mean,
Just
it's
to get
either
over
that,
there?
it's either that
Is
or
that
a
all,
typical
or?
combination. We needed something that's not.
They need something more over there once they get over there, though.
Right.
Okay, so then half the key is the colors or whatever, and then the other half is once they get over there. But what's over there? It should be the same type of thing, like some kind of a combination or mechanical.
It should be it should be something that has to do with mechanics or mechanical types of things, gears, whatever.
Gears and levers and numbers. They have to get a certain combination of numbers when they're over there. They have to turn the gears the right way.
You know, we could make this like a puzzle. I mean, just like a typical, yeah. Yeah, this would be a good place for something like that.
That would be good.
We just need to think of a puzzle.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, cut. That's a good place to cut and then have us. So the thing spins, and as it's spinning, it turns these gears, right?
It's too easy. It's just stupid. You just
It's
turn the
not
gears
really
and you
that
get the
easy.
numbers. No. It can't turn one at a time, though. You don't turn one at a time.
What do you mean? It just spins by and it turns two? Is that?
I don't know. Well, it would sure make it harder if it spun like two at a time. Well, how many are there? There's three, right?
Three
digits?
Yeah.
Or colors or whatever?
3 digits.
Okay. Whatever, they can be colors. All right.
Fine.
Well, it's going to be too hard. I mean, they'll never get that combination.
Well, let's figure out.
Okay.
I mean,
We don't want them to have to write down every combination just to solve the stupid thing.
Right. I don't know. I quit.
Okay. No, we don't want a pack.
Yes.
No. We don't want a pack.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. Okay, what if some of the books aren't there? What if there's not?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Just listen. Just listen. What if they're burnt or something? Good. That's a good one. They're burnt. It's good. Admit it. Wait. Okay. Okay. The brothers are in the books. If they're in the books, then we don't have to then we don't have to put them in the game. You need to respond to me.
I will. Make it real, like I'm sitting over here like a dick.
Rand!
What? Okay, do it again.
Okay.
Don't put the brothers in the book. Do something else. Make it so. Make it the. Okay.
Right, something completely different.
The bookshelf goes down. The bookshelf collapses.
Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, Rand. Okay, the bookshelf. All we need to do is have the bookshelf. Rand, are you listening?
What?
Listen, the bookshelf just kind of collapses like the stairs are, the bookshelf turns into stairs. Like it goes back. It moves back and turns into stairs. Yeah. Yeah. To the observatory. You can model anything.
Hello? All right, you ready for paper?
Okay. Well, we've got to get the stupid rotating thing.
The observatory?
Oh,
Tower.
I thought we had the observatory. Simple.
it's supposed to be for GPS. It depends on where it's going and what it is. Barbie's package, she sent pictures.
Oh, wait, what if it's in the map in the library? What if it's in the map in the library?
They're
That'll
usually
work.
about the, sometimes GPS is cheaper. It depends on how
But it's
far
too easy.
across the country I think the post office would be cheaper. The post office versus email or
Okay, Rand. I think we need to do twin brothers with the
No, that's
evil
not twins.
with the evil Father Tharkod.
And you could be evil twin. Or not.
No, really. Where are we gonna? What are we gonna make to plug into the books?
It's like somebody
Okay.
building a
Okay. You had originally come up with the idea of the
The Zarkon lock.
the Zarkon lock. All right, that's a good idea.
Not the Newtonian lock bar. Book lock bar.
The Narconian book lock. How about the?
The father was a master Newtonian book lock bar maker.
Okay, so pages then. Oh, that's good. And before you put any pages in, there's just pure static. No message at all.
Now, both brothers
Excellent, man.
Both brothers are together.
No, they're in separate books.
Oh.
They could be any kind of.
So we identified the books.
Why are we calling these things? We keep calling them affidavits. It's confusing me now. Okay, that's good.
Robyn, you're supposed to be designing this, you idiot. What are you doing?
I'm making it pretty. Look at this. It's a work of art. It's gorgeous.
You're an idiot.
Wouldn't you want to play this game?
I'm not going to be playing on paper, dummy. Go ahead.
Well, we could always take the pumps, which are back here, and just move them, so just this general area. I don't know, make a bridge or something that goes out here. So, okay, you could come up these steps, like I've drawn. I drew those last night. I drew this last night, Rand. But you could also, we could put an elevator in the center. As a matter of fact, I think the elevator would be a better idea to get a better way to get to the tower.
Well, it's faster.
Yeah.
Also, we don't have to have as many shots. We have to render as many
Right.
images.
We could kind of open up to the side where the view is, and you wouldn't even see the other side.
That's great. I like it. And we had some animation of the elevator going up, too.
Myst Island.
design is done.
Now we gotta see if it works.
All right. Okay, this has got to be big. That has got to be our first objective.
I mean, when you
Bigness.
when you sit down, if we're gonna do it right, it's got to be when you sit down, you explore for years. Okay, months.
A long time.
Um,
Needs to be gigantic.
There just needs to be, okay, so we're talking about not just one place, but lots of places to go. And none of this linear stuff. We don't force you to go anywhere. We don't, I mean, let's give them free reign. And they don't die. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
stupid to have them die. Okay, it's going to be so big that that's going to give them something to do.
But the most important part, or at least one of the most important parts, has got to be an incredible story behind the whole thing.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to sit down and do a whole history behind it. I mean, do a whole
Yeah.
history even that makes the thing so tight that people see. I mean, it's like an incredible novel that people will see the detail and they'll just be blown away. You need to mention the graphic stuff too.
Okay, stop it though.
Why? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I mean, this is going to be an awful lot of graphics. I mean, if we have...
It's going to be too much graphics.
Okay, so we can't paint this. This is not going to be hand-done stuff then.
Ugh, it would take forever. All right, we get to use our modeling toys, Rand.
Okay.
3D rendering. I think we can get it done in a short amount of time.
Well, we're not talking about all inside stuff here, though. We want whole islands. I mean, we're going to have
Absolutely,
to model...
yeah.
We're going to have to model trees on an island.
We're going to have to make entire forests, entire landscapes, outdoor mountains.
Will the... do we have the tools to do, like, the terrain of an island?
We'll have to make our tools do it.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
What about people? I mean, we can't do this ourselves.
No, it's
We're
just
gonna have to.
got to be part of the budget. We got to get some more people. But this is not some corporate endeavor. I mean, it's going to have to be a team of people who are just driven. Who,
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we work in our homes. We work out of our homes, and we work long hours. And we'll find some people who can do that.
All right.
Action. We can put these QuickTime movies together, and get a real interactive feel, like we're. Damn it. I don't even know what to say about this.
Okay, just play it.
We can, QuickTime lets us interact with it, so we can jump to a particular... With QuickTime, we can interact with it. We can jump to a particular frame, or change to a different movie. It really makes the whole thing, gives the whole thing a real neat feel.
Action.
Not only can we play these QuickTime animations to produce motion, but we can also, with our code, interact with them. We can jump to any frame so that we can actually code it so the player is controlling the movies. Stop. Action. Treat.
I missed the other one too.
I was gonna say, no, that's all right. You do it.
Action!
What am I supposed to do?
Answer the phone and take the bogus order.
Oh, okay. Cyan, can I help you? Sure, you'd like to place an order? Okay. That's 500 Cosmic Osmo CD? Okay. Oh, 5 million. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sure, we have that down in the warehouse. We can ship that out to you today. Oh, and 5 million manhole, too. Sure, no problem. Okay, that'll go out today. Bye.
Alright. Okay, Bonnie, what did you do on Myst?
What did I do on this?
Beta testing. School.
Oh, well, I got to test Myst. I guess I was an alpha tester. It was incredible. I got to see all of their work come together, and I don't know. It was really weird because I had seen little chunks here and there, but I'd never seen it all come together. And I couldn't figure it out at first, but by the end, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was.
No! Say that!
No. Well, because I had their help. They were sitting right behind me telling me what to do and what not to do. And I was...
Oh, that'll be pretty.
And I got to play the game with my brother-in-law. So we got to talk it over and figure it out together, which was nice.
Alright.
That's Chris.
Okay, Chris. Tell me what kind of equipment you used.
Get the laughs out. We used a variety of equipment. To create some of the sounds, I used a selection of CD-ROMs that had a whole variety of mechanical and...
Let's stop. The mic's in the view.
Here, how about that? Had a whole variety. That's good.
Action.
Well, I used just about anything I could get my hands on. It started out, originally started out where I had a big box. This is before you even saw anything. I had a box and I had a roofing air stapler, and I was creating sounds of the shooting staples into a box and listening to the air leak out around the connection, and dropping weights, regular workout weights, dropping weights down a long pipe into the box to create this whoom. I was originally creating the tree gate sound, trying to find a sound for the tree gate sound, but I needed a real reverberant sound, so I stuck the mic in the box and I was dropping these weights, all different kinds, and wood blocks from up on top of the ladders. And I used some sounds from CD, a bunch of mechanical sounds, switches, motors, pulleys, all those kinds of things. And I took the DAT player, went out in the woods. We live out here in the woods, and went down by the stream, recorded a bunch of stream sounds. We have a bunch of frogs, crickets, and things down there. Used those in channel wood. And what are some of the others?
Doors.
Oh, yeah. Doors were the bummer. Doors were tough. Doors and drawers. That was the hardest thing to try to find. You'd think it'd be easy, but they just don't sound like, they don't fit. They just sound like a regular house door. So it was tough. It was tough. In fact, we ended up using some sounds from spelunks, from doors, some doors and drawers sounds. We just took them from spelunks because Rand and Robyn, they had a tough time finding those too. And shoot, they had it and they worked. We just used them.
Oh, what was the whole working dynamic between them, and how did it work? What would happen? You would look at the project and then you would decide what...
When we, in order to figure out what sound, you can say, all right, there's a pulley here. This is a pulley, or this is an elevator. But I'd have to actually see what kind of elevator it was in order to figure out what kind of sound would fit. For example, there's an elevator in channelwood, a couple of elevators in channelwood, elevator in mechanical age, and the one in the library in Myst, but they're all different kinds of elevators. So I'd have to wait until they actually finished the art, put it in context, and then I could say, that's the kind. For example, take the one in channelwood. That one, it has kind of an earthy, rope, twiny sound. When it clicks in, it's sort of a creaky kind of thing. Sort of a Robinson Crusoe type sound when the elevator goes. Compared that with the mechanical, which is a lot of whining, heavy motors, big motors kicking into place to push that elevator up. Big difference. And my part was just at the very end, putting all those kinds of sounds in.
Would you then sit down with the finished thing and just walk through it, deciding, okay, here for this ambient sound?
Yeah, in order to put those sounds, to determine which sounds would go where, after I had the finished product, I'd sit down, go through, and I'd have this little form that I created, where it was, what type of sound, environmental or just a resource kind of sound, and then what the file name was. So I'd just sit down with a pad of paper and we'd go through the game. It'd be silent game, click on a switch, that kind of switch, small switch, or big push button, or a big relay switch, or what kind of pulley, that's a heavy pulley. And after I'd get my entire list of all the sounds that were required, then I'd go through the hunt. Go through the hunt on the CDs or go create the sounds. Some of the sounds, in fact, were with my mouth. For wind, of course, it's tough. That's another tough one to get. But for example, in Stone Chip, that tonal sound down by the I can't remember what it's called, with the stone forest, that low howling kind of sound. That's just a big piece of copper pipe, all different lengths. I recorded all different sounds, mixed them all together to get that ooey, blendy, whistling kind of sound. And in fact, too, the chime, the clock tower. I knew we needed a chime, a big chime. That's a big clock. You just don't go get something off your nightstand. A big clock, and it was tough. I could go down to the park. They had a big clock, but it's a big clock, and the sound is too far away to get it. It didn't sound right. So what I ended up doing is just taking my Craftsman 7/8 inch wrench with a lifetime guarantee I just whapped it and held it by fishing line. Just held it up, gave it a wrap, and it had such a reverberant sound. Of course, it was too high. I just dropped the sound lower and lower and lower till you had this big, nice bell sound from a wrench.
That's the one we'll use as an example.
Yeah.
What was your favorite sounds working? What was the favorite thing you did?
Yeah. It probably the most favorite. I suppose, like most things, the most favorite sound that you can create is the most difficult one to create. The one where you work and you say, that's it. You take it down to the boys, and they give you the Siskel and Ebert 2 thumbs down. And you have to go back at it. You have to go back and do it again. And the ones that gave me the most difficult, and the most difficulty, but I think turned out to be the most pleasurable, were the ones in Channelwood. Because I've got a mix of about 6 different sounds: frogs, crickets, wind, water, creaking. I don't know if that's it. Oh, and 2 different kinds of water, and a pump in there. It was tough to make it real. It was tough to really make it real. And I think I've achieved that. And combining that sound with the picture that Robyn created, I think really turned out to be the most favorite.
What was the worst time you had doing the sound? Skip that question. Here's an interesting question. Let's get on more to the hardware, or how you took the sounds and put them into the game, physically put them into the game. What did you do to do that?
When we originally started out, there was a request to have 44 kilohertz sound, just real life stuff, best quality, and we needed software that would enable me to not only record that, but the hardware also to get it into the Mac. So I went on quite an extensive search to get the right equipment. We went through the Radio Shack process of just buying little mixers and a bunch of different combination of connectors and all that. It just didn't work. What we ended up getting is the sound tools, the audio interface stuff. And that enabled me to just record the sounds on DAT or on CD and bring them into the Mac. And that way I could mix and match and blend and cross any kinds of sound that I wanted. Once that was done, then it was a matter of just reducing it down so that instead of a 10 meg file, which in fact some of the Channelwood sounds were, the ones with the birds and the water and all of that, they're just enormously large files, we could reduce them down to maybe a meg or so. And once that was done, then it was a matter of just going into the stack, converting it to a resource, or converting it to a QuickTime movie if it was an environmental sound, and then either just putting it right into the stack or calling it up right in the code to play as a movie. We needed, it's interesting, we found a need for specific tools to enable us to make it easy to play these things. Some of these songs were really loud songs, and the sounds were long. They were just too long to play as a resource. It just took too long to load. So we have the ability with QuickTime to play it as a movie, but we needed tools that enabled us to fade in and fade out and crossfade the sounds from one to the other. As you're walking down a hallway, you'd like the outside sounds to fade away as you approached more of the mechanical sound, let's say as you're going down in the selenitic hallway. So we had that need, so Rich and Rand, they created a tool that enabled me to do just that. So then it was just a matter of saying, play this sound, fade in, fade out, play that one, fade in. And boy, it just made it so easy. It was really easy and effective.
How did you interact with Robyn when he was doing the music and you had to take that music and then put it into the game? What happened?
Well, the music part, of the sounds presented a whole new dimension, because we not only were adding music, but in the case of, let's say, Selenitic, or in Stone Chip, where you're playing music but you've also got environmental sounds, Robyn and I had to work close together, and we have the keyboard and the setup tied right together for the music part of it, and I've got my whole sound effects set up here. But still, we had to maintain this 44 kilohertz arrangement, so we fed it all through the audio portion of it. Robyn would sample his music right into my Mac, and then I would, on another channel, just add the environmental sounds, blend it the way it needed to be, and there we've got a sound that fits in the environment. And it went fast, at least the mixing part. Robyn's song part, that took some time, but the actual creating, the blending, the bringing in, the tools are great, and there aren't any tools like this on anything but a Mac, and it's just fast, it's easy, it makes sense, and you can whip the stuff out very quickly.
What about your most hateful sound?
The most hateful sound had to be the bubbles. The bubbles that you hear in Stone Chip, down in the compass room and in the book room. They were the hardest, most annoying sound to make. I tried everything, and in fact, what you hear are actually bubbles in a toilet. But they sounded like bubbles in a toilet. That was tough. I tried big tubes, little tubes, sticking it way down there, you know, in the part where the trap goes down. It just didn't work out, and I kept coming back to Robyn. No, wrong bubbles. Sounds lousy. And so I just went over and over and over those bubbles, and finally got it, but that was the biggest pain.
What's your background?
Well, I've played music for my whole life. I really have.
I'm sorry, let me start it over again. What's your background in sound?
Sound, not music?
Yeah, but, I mean, music is the whole reason you're doing sound.
Background in sound.
In other words, why did you get to do the sound on this? What?
Because everyone else is doing something else.
No, I want you to explain your musical background and say how that led into, you know, so you can, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, I've been around music and noise, I guess, my whole life. And it started with playing bass, and playing bass next to my dad playing the piano.
I'm sorry, the microphone.
That's right. Is that in the camera?
No.
I've been playing music for my whole life, and it started out with playing bass standing next to my dad, big upright bass standing next to my dad, playing the piano, and all the bass lessons and the trombone lessons and marching band in high school and parades and that whole stuff. And I guess I've been around music enough to have a good ear for what sounds right, and to be able to say, yeah, that's the right kind of switch, or that's a neat sounding thing that fits just right for the elevator, or so in coming to Cyan, being asked to do, in addition to accounting, I also did accounting, but in addition to accounting, to take care of the sounds, that's really a great thing. And it takes a lot of time, but I feel that I did it well. I feel that it turned out well, and I knew it would sound right, and I hope you think it sounds right too.
Action. Okay. Action. Action. Okay, when you do it again, press the play button up there to make it do it. Go ahead. Okay. Are you gonna press record or anything?
Oh, yeah. No.
Action. Action. Okay, action.
bubbles. We'll give them bubbles. Don't suck. Put it down in there. Hey, let's go look for some sounds. Action. What's your background in music?
Oh, that's a stupid question. Well, I don't really have a background in music. I was real interested in music for a long time during high school, and music has kind of been a real love of mine, easily as much as art, and so it was a real pleasure to be able to do. Let's press the stop. We'll just do it again.
Action.
Oh yeah, I've always had a strong interest in music. I love music. So it was incredible to work on this. Cosmic Osmo was a lot different because they were silly songs mostly. But to work on something that had kind of a serious music was fun. Fortunately, I have the computer because without the computer, I'm a horrible musician. I can't read music or anything like that. I think like most musicians. So the computer allows me to lay out the music in a way that that I just can't do otherwise. I can only imagine music in my head, but the computer allows me to kind of realize my dreams.
Would you call the music in Myst songs?
Next question.
Why did you play such dreary music?
It was a real funny process the way the music came about in Myst. The first thing I did is I sat down and I just started writing songs. And I started writing songs, in essence, what was a vacuum. And I sat for like maybe a week just writing songs, thinking I was doing a great job. And I was real happy. And I had written a lot of songs. And at the end of that week, I played some of the songs for some people. And at that point, I realized that they weren't very good. They didn't fit. They were very dreary and morbid and didn't sound like Myst. As a matter of fact, Myst is a very lonely place anyway. And so to hear these morbid songs just basically was not good. So it was back to square one, and we started over again. I tried to do some songs with more of a major feel then. I kept coming back to my morbidness, and it kept coming through these minor songs. But finally, I think with the help of some other people who kept telling me that my stuff was crap, I got it right. And so the songs kind of set the mood set a good mood rather than a dreary one.
Well, after the change in gears from kind of minor, dreary songs to major ones, did it take you a long time to rewrite all new songs? You seem to have a lot of them in Myst.
The songs, I think, went surprisingly fast. Once I sit down on the computer with a song in my mind, I can get it out fairly quickly down onto the computer. And so I think the songs went pretty quick. But yeah. What was the question again? It was good. We can get some good stuff from that anyway.
You have violins, and
what sounds like a real orchestra. How did you get that?
One of the things when I started out doing the music, I started doing a kind of a new age type of very synthesizer-y type of sounds. I don't know why I picked that. I guess it was, once again, me working in the vacuum that I was working in, and me had not doing this on a project like this before, not doing this kind of music. And so we ended up with, like I said, a kind of a dreary sounding, new age, synthesizer-y type of music, which wasn't good. And so when I switched gears into more of a major type of sound, I also switched gears with instruments, and I started using more traditional instruments on the synthesizer, instruments like oboe and violins and orchestra and kettle drums, just to give it a more feel that people were more could associate with or could relate to more. And so I think that worked really well. As soon as I did that with one song, I realized that was the way it needed to sound, and I just started doing it with all of them. That really improved the sound. I think that was a good decision.
Do they take up a lot of room in the game?
The songs, I think, take up around an hour of space in the game. So I wrote about an hour of music all together. I don't remember how many songs there were. There were a lot, because a lot of them are fairly short songs that end up looping or something like that. One thing we didn't want, and we were scared in the beginning, we almost didn't put any music at all in. As a matter of fact, we were adamant about the fact until Broderbund convinced us in a way that we needed to put some music in. We didn't want music interfering with the gameplay. And so we weren't going to put any music in. When we finally did do a couple songs, we realized it wasn't an interference. It didn't sound like Super Mario Brothers. I mean, that's what we were thinking. Music equals that Super Mario Brothers kind of sound that just gets on your nerves, plays over and over again. But more composed types of songs didn't seem to do that. They seemed to really help the mood of certain places that you were at in the game.
Does it take sophisticated equipment? You mentioned synthesizers, but what about how did you choose your synthesizer? What about the Mac?
I think a lot of people think it takes real sophisticated equipment to do good music. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the resources to buy real sophisticated equipment, and I think we were kind of in that position. We bought some nice equipment to do the music. We bought a Proteus MPS Plus, I guess. And that's the only keyboard we used. That's the only sound module we used. I think we ended up with a fantastic sound out of the thing. For the computer, all I did was use this SC. And I mean, you just don't need a nice computer to do sequencing. Any cheap little computer will work. I would work on art during the day, and at night I would come over here, and I would work, or at night, and a lot of days too, I guess. I would come over here and I'd work on the SE, and it was just fine equipment. The SE and the Proteus combined were plenty. I think what counts is not what instrument you're using necessarily, but how you can use those instruments to put together something that sounds good. What else was something I was thinking? Go.
Sounds. Broderbund wants to use the sounds too. Is it easy to get the sounds to them?
Well, the music they're not going to use.
Yeah, they are right now.
No, they're not sampling it. They're redoing it.
Well, they're taking MIDI files from us.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, let me. I'm not gonna. That's.
No, that's good.
Why don't you stop it for a second? It was really good working over here. I was working with Chris and Bonnie. They work at this office, and so working with them was great because being a little unsure of myself as to what sounded good where, I could constantly refer to them and say, "Hey, how does this sound?" And Chris was a real big critic. I got a lot of
got a lot of good critiques from him. Bonnie was the first to hear all of my songs. She would always come over and say yay or nay. And that was a good way it was excellent to be able to pass ideas past people right from the onset to see, if the mood was right. So I think working with them was just an excellent way to get input. Anything else? Turn it off for a second. I think we can think of maybe specific. One of the songs that, an example of a song that I wrote at first that sounded completely wrong, though I didn't know it, was in the Selenitic age, down in this underground area. There was this music at this certain point, and I had written this song, and it just sounded so good to me. I was so happy with it. When I started playing it for people, I just got, no, that doesn't fit. And at first, it had been, the song I had written was just a very dramatic sounding type of song, and it was almost too dramatic. And I wrote it again with this time a more melancholy air, and it worked out very well, if I must say so myself.
Why don't you say, in fact, how about if you listen to both songs?
Well, as I'm talking, I will play both songs. It'll show me working. And
would you recommend the Proteus keyboard?
the software we used was I'm not going to go into that. People don't care. I guess my favorite song on the whole thing. Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, there's so many of them now. I don't even remember which are which. What I really want is a CD of all the songs, just the songs, to listen to on my stereo. Then I'll be a happy man. I think that's good. How about? Okay. Yeah, but you can come on in. Go ahead and stop it. Oh, stop it.
Go.
I'm just getting some shots here.
Do you want to be quiet?
No.
Just yell if you do.
Okay.